Today we're going to talk about my first week on Carnivore. Stay tuned. Welcome back to My Third Life. If you missed it, I made a video a little over a week ago, I'll link it up here, about am I a carnivore? And then a follow-up video about my first carnivore shopping trip. So if you're watching this, you probably know what carnivore is, but if not, it's basically a way of eating that is just meat and eggs and some dairy, cheese and heavy cream, and really pretty much cuts out everything else. So, am I a carnivore? Well, at this point, no. I haven't gone strict full carnivore. From what I've been seeing online and, on YouTube videos, really I'm more ketovore at this point. So what's the difference? Ketovore, well, it's keto plus carnivore, so it's basically low carb. So it's carnivore plus a little bit of carbs. So what have I been doing the last week? Well, first of all, let's talk about what I've added to my diet. I already ate meat, but now I eat more. So that's not that big of a change. Cheese, I already ate cheese, but I've added more cheese. Eggs and bacon, same thing. I just eat more of it than I did before. The biggest two things probably that I've increased the most would be salt, oddly enough, and butter. I see a lot of videos about getting enough minerals and electrolytes, and I've never really had a taste for salt, so something I'm trying to increase. From what I've seen, salt's really not as bad for you as people used to think, and butter as well. So I mean, we all, at least if you're my age, grew up with the food pyramid, and it turns out that's probably a lot of BS. I was always under the impression that if you eat a lot of butter, well, you're gonna drop dead of a heart attack. But that's not the case. So I've definitely been adding a lot of butter, cooking with butter, and even just, cold butter. It sounds crazy. It still makes me laugh. I had a big chuckle about it with a friend of mine. We had a conversation when I told him I eat butter. It's like, yeah, I've been eating butter. Like, what do you mean, like a snack? So, I mean, I'm not like taking a hunk of butter and chewing on it, but I told him that just for him, I'd eat some butter on camera. So, but yeah, cold butter, one thing I'm learning is that I guess cold butter is more easily digested than hot fats, which is, I don't know, something I never really thought of before, but I mean, this is butter. It's not a piece of cheese. And it tastes like butter. Oh, you know who you are. This is for you. So that's what I've added. What have I taken away? And really, I think what I've taken away is more important than what I've added to my diet. So I haven't had any rice, any pasta. I've had very little bread. And the thing that I really cut out the most, that I ate the most, would be chips. Corn chips, potato chips, all kinds of chips. I love chips. The fun thing that I realized, I was watching the video and I realized I could eat pork rinds. It had never even occurred to me before. And so that has really helped and taken the place of chips. I like pork rinds. I like the crunch. Besides the bread and the starch and stuff, I've also pretty much cut out all fruits and vegetables as well. I didn't eat a lot before anyway, but I eat almost none now. The big thing that I've cut down on, I think the most, is sugar. And I guess you don't really realize until you start looking at labels how much sugar is in everything. in my previous video, I mentioned that people who start a keto or a carnivore diet sometimes can have what's called the keto flu or the carnivore flu. They can feel sick for a couple of weeks, even have bad stomach issues. And I was expecting that. And I haven't had any of that. In fact, I feel great. I mean, the bottom line is I feel great. I feel what I told my friend, I feel extraordinarily normal. And what I mean by that is I'm just pretty much even all day long. Before I would have a lot of energy and then I would crash. I would take a nap every day. And I haven't been doing that at all. I mean, I've had just an even, normal, I assume normal, amount of energy all day long. So when I say I feel great, it's not like I'm all hopped up on sugar and caffeine like I was before. I feel great. I just feel extraordinarily normal. And I guess I don't really know how long it's been since I felt that way. So it's really interesting. I mean, I've been getting a lot of things done lately around the house, projects. Of course, now we are coming into summertime as well. It's spring and the sun's coming out more, and that could be part of it. And my goal really with this was to lose weight. I guess a lot of people have health issues or autoimmune diseases. I don't have any of that. As far as health issues, really all I have is some heartburn and I'm overweight. So we're going to take a look at that together. I'll weigh in. I don't really have a lot of confidence in my home scale. It seems to be wildly inconsistent. Before I started keto, I weighed myself. It was like 118. Then the next day I said 120. But then a couple of days ago it was like 111, and then yesterday it was 115. So I don't think I'm fluctuating that much. I do go twice a week and donate plasma. And so that's like a mini checkup. And I get weighed, get my blood pressure, my heart rate, and they take my blood. So that brings us to the next thing. Hematocrit. So hematocrit is a measure of how much red blood cells you have in your blood. Since I donate plasma twice a week, the upper limit for hematocrit levels for me is a 54. Generally the upper limit for males, the upper range limit is 50. So I'm always above that. I'm always like 50 to 53. So, switching to mostly meat diet, I was worried that my hematocrit would go up. And I actually got on a live stream with Dr. Ken Berry. I asked him about that. He said, no, it shouldn't cause your hematocrit to go up. If it does, you can donate blood twice a year, which is interesting. I guess that would lower your amount of red blood cells because you're reducing the amount of blood volume. Where plasma gives you back your red blood cells, it doesn't keep them. So after I started carnivore, the first time I went, my hematocrit was 49. I mean, that's still right there. I'm usually between 50 and 53. The last time I went, it was a 48. So that's, what they say, correlation is not causation, but it is interesting that my hematocrit seems to be going down, which is the opposite of what I would have expected. But, you let me know in the comments if you have an idea why that might be. But it's great. I'm happy about it. Now, what are some things that I've learned? It's early days. It's only been a week. But like I mentioned before, labels. Sugar is in everything, and they can have a lot of different names for it. Sugar, corn syrup, corn sugar. And the one that got me recently, as I was looking at some hot dogs, some all beef hot dogs, I didn't catch it until I got home. I still ate them. But on the label of ingredients, it said dextrose, and I missed that. Of course, dextrose is a simple sugar. They could also get you with natural flavors. I don't know exactly what natural flavors are. Could that mean sugar? I don't know. But so far, it's going great. I haven't eliminated. I'm not carnivore. I haven't eliminated everything. But I'm going to guess I am probably ketovore because I am very limited on, or at least trying to limit myself on the carbohydrates and the sugars. One thing people might not realize, condiments also have sugar, whether it's ketchup, barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, but I don't believe mustard does. And I'm also still using seasoning like Johnny's seasoning, Lowry's or whatever. That can have some sugar in it also. So, and I also did switch to sugar-free Red Bull. And the difference just in that is pretty remarkable. You don't really realize how much of that spike is coming from the sugar and not the caffeine. Now, what about cravings? I really haven't. I expected to have some cravings for bread and for chips, and they've been really mild. I haven't been real hungry. Like I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll eat some meat, but I'm not like wanting to snack in between meals. It's just not, I don't know, it's totally different than what I'm used to. And again, when I was having a little bit of chip cravings, I grabbed the pork rinds, and that actually worked out really well. So I'm not going to do it in this video, but I have recorded some of the things I've cooked. Out of that video where I went grocery shopping, I recorded a lot of the things that I cooked, and I'll do a separate video on that and the things I would get again and the things I wouldn't get again, and some recipes. And I've been using this new air fryer happened to get just at the same time I started Carnivore, and so I've been using that thing a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and see what this thing says I weigh, and we'll wrap this up. All right, well, that said about 208 and some change. About 208. Which is interesting because, like I said, when I first started, it's more like 220, 218. The last time I got my weight, when I donated plasma last week, their scale said 216. Then, like I said, the last couple of days it's been 211, 215. Now it's 208. But I'm going to donate tomorrow. We'll see what theirs says. I don't know how much I can really trust this scale. It seems to be all over the place. But generally speaking, it seems to be indicating that I'm losing weight, which is what I wanted. And again, like I mentioned before, we're coming into summertime, so I'm going to naturally be more active. So that's going to help too. How much is it from activity? How much is it from diet? I don't know. We'll see. I'll check in every week or 2 weeks, and we'll weigh in, and I'll talk about what I've been doing and what I've been eating. And if you've got any comments or questions, please leave them below, and I'll do my best to respond. I think that's it for today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.